In the quiet fog-drenched mountains of 17th century Japan, a man named Miyamoto stood at the edge of a precipice, not of a cliff, but of his own soul, holding a blade that had known only blood, yet yearning for a peace that seemed impossible to grasp. Welcome back to Fiction Saga, where we peel back the layers of time to find the heartbeat of human resilience. Today, we journey through a story that bridges the gap between ancient honor and modern-day purpose. Miyamoto was a Ronin, a masterless samurai wandering the Edo period's dusty trails, carrying nothing but his twin swords and a heavy shroud of regret. He had served lords who traded lives like currency, and he had seen the emptiness of a life lived solely for the conquest of others. One evening, as a torrential downpour turned the mountain paths into treacherous rivers of mud, Miyamoto sought shelter in a dilapidated shrine tended by an elderly monk, who seemed to possess eyes that could see through the very steel of a warrior's chest. The monk, sensing the turmoil radiating from the traveler, offered him a simple bowl of rice and a single, cryptic instruction: the strength of a blade is measured by what it protects, but the strength of a man is measured by what he is willing to let go. Miyamoto, hardened by decades of combat, initially scoffed at the notion. He believed that to let go was to show weakness, and in his world, weakness was a death sentence. However, as the night deepened and the sound of the rain became a rhythmic chant, the monk shared a tale of a legendary general who had conquered nations but died in a cold room, surrounded by gold but devoid of a single friend. He held the world in his hand, the monk whispered, but his hand was so tightly clenched that he never felt the warmth of the sun. This realization began to gnaw at Miyamoto's resolve. He spent the following months at the shrine, not as a warrior, but as a student of the mundane. He learned that the precision required to carve a wooden flute was no different from the precision required to strike an opponent, yet the outcome of the flute was a melody that healed, while the outcome of the sword was a silence that haunted. This historical pivot, the transition from the age of warring states to the relative peace of the Tokugawa shogunate, serves as a powerful metaphor for our own lives. We often find ourselves in a constant state of internal warfare, battling for status, wealth, or validation, forgetting that the greatest victory is the conquest of our own ego. Miyamoto eventually left the mountain, but he didn't return to the life of a mercenary. Instead, he became a protector of the path, helping travelers navigate the dangerous passes and offering wisdom to those blinded by their own ambitions. There is a specific historical account of a Ronin who once saved a village from a flash flood by organizing a desperate, coordinated effort to divert the water using his knowledge of structural integrity, not to tear down walls but to build them up. This is the essence of true motivation. It is not about the fire that burns within you to consume, but the light that shines from you to guide. For our audience in the United States, a nation built on the rugged individualism of the frontier and the relentless pursuit of the American dream, this story carries a poignant weight. We are taught to be the best, to climb the highest, and to outpace the rest. But history, through the lens of Miyamoto's transformation, teaches us that the dream is hollow if it is built on a foundation of isolation. The debt Miyamoto felt he owed was not to a lord or a kingdom, but to the humanity he had ignored while chasing glory. In modern terms, we see this reflected in the burnout of the corporate world and the loneliness of the digital age. We are more connected than ever, yet we often feel like masterless warriors wandering a digital fog. The lesson here is simple yet profound. Stop looking for a war to win and start looking for a life to serve. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice the sword of kindness. When Miyamoto finally reached the end of his days, he didn't die on a battlefield. He passed away in a small garden he had cultivated, surrounded by the children of the village who knew him not as a killer, but as the man who taught them how to listen to the wind. He realized that his legacy wasn't written in the scrolls of generals, but in the hearts of those he helped. This is the shift we all need to make. Whether you are a student in New York, an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, or a parent in the Midwest, your samurai moment is happening right now. It is the moment you choose empathy over anger, patience over haste, and contribution over consumption. The world doesn't need more conquerors. It needs more gardeners, people willing to plant seeds of hope in the shadows of despair. As we look back at the Edo period, we see a culture that transitioned from chaos to art, from blood to tea ceremonies. That same transition is available to you. You can choose to put down the heavy armor of your past mistakes and walk forward with a light heart. The unforgiven debt is actually the debt we owe to ourselves to be happy and to be kind. It is the realization that you are not defined by what you have done, but by what you choose to do next. Let this story be the spark that ignites a change in your perspective. If you found value in this journey through time and the human spirit, please consider subscribing to Fiction Saga and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a lesson from the past. Our mission is to build a community of thinkers and doers who believe that history is the best roadmap for the future. Before you go, remember that a single act of kindness can ripple through time. In ways you will never see, reach out to someone today, offer a word of encouragement, or simply listen. In a world where you can be anything, be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people. Thank you for being part of our saga.